Hello, everybody. It's me again. And for a video, there was only going to be one video. I have turned it into three because just that's the way things work out for me. So the last video that I shot last week, I left off at where I'd pretty much finished all the preliminary stuff. You know, the charging and all that, and I've got everything. Obviously, as you can see, I've got everything all, zip tied up and neat looking. So all I have left to do now is the solar charge controller and the power inverter. So I finally decided what I was going to do with these things. All right. So the solar charge controller, because I'm trying to keep everything in the box so it doesn't look too bulky and whatnot. So the solar charge controller is going to go over here roughly. Okay. Because it's pretty good size. So it's going to go over here roughly. And then I'm going to wire it from there, which is pretty easy for the most part. And I found these things. I've only ever seen XT60 connectors in the regular male and female, and I have a project that I used where I ran a connector through the side of the box to power my stuff. Well, I saw another guy. I was watching some more videos, and he had these, and I'm like, they make mountable XT60 that you can put on something and run through and mount. I did not know this. So, yeah. They come with little, nuts mounted. Let's see. Someday, I'm going to buy an actual camera. So, they come with a couple of nuts in there. I'm not sure they're standard size. They're roughly about the same size as a 3mm, but I couldn't find the standard version of a 3mm, the SAE, I should say, of the 3mm nut. 3mm is the same size, as the hole on the front here to mount it through. So I went to Lowe's and I got some 3mm screws, machine screws, and little 3mm nuts. And I'm going to pop the nut out of the back of this and use the other one. I also decided I was going to run the power inverter. I was going to put an outlet on the outside of the box, right? And just wire a couple of these. Honestly, these were the smallest ones I could find. And these were still $5 a piece. They had some that didn't have this big wide ass end on it, but it had an LED. It was clear, part of it was clear, and an LED in there would tell you that it's on. But that was $10 a piece. Well, almost 11. These were 5 and some change a piece at Lowe's. So I got a couple of these, and then I got home and realized that I could only plug one of these into the front of the front of this, okay? Which, obviously, if I'd have remembered, they were so that the plugs were so close together, so that's where the plugs go. This the front plate, obviously. You noticed I took the front plate off. But these are real easy to do because they just plug onto. That's why it's, fairly inexpensive. It just why this camera just ain't going to focus for me because I move around too much. So anyway, these plugs back here are the plugs on the board that power the outlets. And as you can see, these are probably 20 gauge wires, give or take. So I'm going to take, and these plugs are kind of cheesy. I mean, they're, oop, there it goes. Good thing I have two. These plugs are kind of cheesy. I mean, luckily it's only a 300 watt, but still, you know, they're kind of cheesy. If, you know, and you're supposed to be able to plug a, you know, a home appliance into this. And yeah, these are kind of cheesy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them off of here, splice some wire onto this so that I can use the plug back here to plug them onto the board and power these two outlets. So I'm just going to wire those two outlets directly to this duplex outlet here, also at Lowe's. And then I got a little box to put it all in, and I got a all-weather cover for it. And that's all going to be on the outside. You know, got the all-weather cover. So yeah, that'll work. Not exactly what I was going to do. I even got some extension cord type cord that I was going to use to wire these plugs, and I was going to plug these plugs into the front of that thing, but you can only plug one. This, because these things are so big, you can only plug one in, and I thought that the outlets on the front of this, which, you know, me being stupid, that's like, yeah, there's no way. Not with these over here. So we had to change tactics. And like I said, these plugs popped right out of the front of this, front plate here. Well, it actually goes like this. So I'm just going to run the wires right back through those holes, put this front plate back on. Then I'm probably going to mount it something like this in the box here. I can run the wires out the back there where it comes in. Fat fingering it in. And then the fan down there comes on, and then I've got another little fan, it's a what, 4 millimeter fan. Yeah, that fan that's on that's on the fan that's on here, same size. It's 4 millimeter, just same size as this one, basically. And that thing barely moves any air. I mean, it moves a little bit of air. I guess I don't know how hot this thing potentially could be, because the entire case is basically a heat sink. Because if you look in there, in the back there, come on, focus. You see the MOSFETs are screwed to the side of the case. So the case itself is a heat sink, and it's got a little fan in there, a little 4 millimeter fan that blows out. And then what I was going to do is I was going to stick this fan that I had laying around, and it's USB powered, so I could plug this fan into the front of this, and when I turn the switch on over here to turns this on, because I'm going to leave this switch on, but I'm going to have it in a place to where I could manually turn it on and off if I need to, but I'm going to leave it on because I've got it switched over here to power it up. That way it's fused through the fuse box. Yeah, my camera work, so those of you who know me. So anyway, so I'm going to plug this fan into the front of this, into one of those USB ports in the front, and every time this comes on to be used, it'll turn this fan on, and this fan is going to be in the side of the box. I'm going to drill a hole, cut a hole, mount this, And so it'll draw the hot air out of the box. The fan on this will draw the hot air out of off the components like it's supposed to. I just wish it drew a little more air, but I guess it just needs to move the air. And so if this thing, in the box itself will have its own fan that just it's a little 4 millimeter fan, but it doesn't really get that hot in here. But I'm not sure how to wire that up to some sort of temperature sensor that turns the fan on and off, if it gets too hot in the box. But that's that. So that's my plan for today. I've got some things I got to do to get all this together, and I'm still kind of figuring stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mount this in here. There's plenty of room in this box to do that. That's why I got kind of such a big one, because you never know. And so yeah, that wall outlet thing is going to be here in the front, like so. Here in the front, like so. Okay. And that's where my outlets obviously are going to be. I could probably do it. It doesn't matter, but that's kind of what my plan is somewhere in this area. And yeah, I got some new stickers. I couldn't, that was the only lone sticker on there, so I had some of these left over from when I did my joystick controller for my Raspberry Pi. And yeah, so anyway, I'm rambling, but anyhow, all right, so this is my plan for today. So I will be back as I get things done to show you. Like I said, I'm not going to have you the video would be 9 hours long, because that's how things usually go for me. But like I said, I got everything tidied up like I said I was going to do. It's all nice and zip tied in there. Everything's cool. The one thing I totally forgot, and I don't know, maybe some of you might have noticed, but when I got this all done, I'm looking in there and I'm admiring my handiwork and whatnot, and I said, oh, I don't have any way to charge this battery. I went to all that trouble to wire all that stuff, and not once until I was all done, and I'm sitting there thinking, damn, this turned out pretty good. And then I look and I'm like, how am I going to charge it? So then I had to go back in there and build some way to charge it when I get the charge controller added. So, like I said, some of you may have noticed this, I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, well, at least these things are easy to get to. So I had to add a wire and another one of these so that I could clip this on there. As well as I had to add a negative right here to run over to this one. That's the main negative, and this is the main positive over here. Where is it? There. Yeah, I hope y'all are patient with me, because sometimes things just, But anyhow, I get to where I want to go in the end. It might take me a while, and I may do dumb shit and mess things up and have to redo it. But in the end, I still end up getting to where I want to be. So that being said, like I said, I'm going to do these other things now, and I will be back to show my progress. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, it's all finished. I finally got it done. It was a long day, I'm telling you. But you see some new stuff here besides the stickers. Yep. Oh, look at there. Nice outlet. Over here is the input for the solar panels. I put an extra thing on there because, just to make sure that that's nice and strong. Yep. So it's finally done. All done. Completely finished. I'm done with it. It's a long project, but it's all finished. All finished. Got the solar charge controller over there, all wired up. Got the inverter all wired up, and it's all done. You see, I've even got a fan back there. The inverter does work. And I got both the fans working. It's got its own fan in there. And so yeah, I just pulled out the plugs. I plugged that other fan. It's just a USB fan. Pulled out and put a box in there. Ran the wires into the box. And there you go. There you go. So, like I said, it's done. I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to look at this and say, well, he should have did this, or why did he do that, or he's a retard, or something like that. I don't know. But this works for me. This project works for me. It's got what I want. If you decide to build something like this, you make something that works for you. If you see something that I've done that you can do better, do it better. Right now, the way this is set up, it's exactly what I wanted to do. So I got the wires all more or less tidied up there. The only ones that are hanging loose are the main power and the main ground. But I got all the stuff in there that I intended on putting in there. And there you go. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for subscribing. If you've subscribed recently, thank you for subscribing. And we will see you on the next project. See you later.